Hello everyone, we are going to demonstrate the design of a rod support bracket. Let's go ahead and see how it looks like. The first thing you want to do when you're looking at a certain design is understand the unit and look at the biggest dimension that you have. So in here it's 130. This gives you a certain appreciation of how big the part is going to be. Then the second thing, try to decide where it's going to be your origin of the part. I always try to look somewhere on the left, but this is a little bit circular, so this is not suitable. So perhaps this point. So yes, I'm going to select this point, or alternatively, we can select also this point in here and then go from here. So that's the first things you want to look at is where is going to be your center. The second thing is the main profile. It's very clear from this one that this is the main profile. So we're going to go with that. Let's take a look. We have in here and in here some pockets. We can create those directly from the sketch. And then we have in here something that if you take it to the other side, this is like hollow all the way inside, but it's going a little bit more than the part itself. So I guess we're going to do some Boolean operations in here. We'll design this first part as it is, and then we will go ahead and create these two disks. We can add this to this and then subtract from the internal volume. So I'm thinking a little bit too fast. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate it as we are working on this. So I'm going to move this and put it on the side. I have the dimension. It helps also sometimes to print it out. I'm going to go ahead and click mechanical design, part design, and always using the name conventions, PRT, This is from tutorial 2, and this is the rod support bracket. So I'm gonna just put in here rod support V01. And I'm going to maximize the screen, and as usual, so that it's easier for you to see, I'm gonna maximize the design tree. The next thing I'm going to do is start by building the profile. So I'm going to click on the XY plane, and we are going to, so since this is going to be a little bit more towards the bottom, let's see a little bit, so 130, I'm just gonna go ahead and put like yes, this is good. Like I have enough space for the 130. So as you know, we start by creating the main profile, and we don't really have to put the dimensions nor the constraints nor anything. We will add them later. So as we've decided, we're going to take the center point as, so I'm going to click profile. We are starting with a certain arc. So we are going to have a certain arc. So I'm going to click here and click here and click here. So we will do the certain dimensions later. So the radius is a little bit bigger than what I wanted it to be, but it's okay. So then I'm gonna go for a line. It has a certain inclination. So that's a line. Then I have a tangent radius in here, then a certain line, a tangent almost half a circle, then we're going like a straight line, a tangent half a circle, and then a point here. All right, so that definitely is not it, but we are going to start creating the different points from there. So in case sometimes you don't have it aligned, you can always use these features at the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and start adding horizontals and verticals. So this is definitely a vertical constraint. Okay, so before we do that, we have to click and reactivate the constraints so that they remain after we do it. This one is horizontal, and I don't see on the screen another one that is limited. Then we're gonna have from here to here, we're gonna have some tangency. So we might as well add this. So I did kind of lose this point from being at the center. So I'm gonna select these 2 points and I'm gonna put them coincidence and fix like this. I'll make sure that my design will not move around. In here I have a tangency. I'm gonna go ahead and add it. This is my preferred method of design. This is especially when something is so when something is really complicated. If I start this way, this method, I am always sure that I am going to have my part the right way. This is 1, 2, 3, draw something that looks like it. 2, put the constraints. 3, update the dimensions. It is guaranteed. It is a guaranteed method. Of course, you always can have some hiccups. Like for example, I could have avoided having to recreate all these tangencies by leaving something. This is a simple part, so it's not gonna create for me some constraint somewhere that I don't know what it is, and then I'm gonna get surprised later. But it's better being safe than being sorry. So now I have some angles. Now I have some angles. Sorry, I pressed by mistake. So now I have some angles. I am going to press and create the constraints of these angles. So this one to this one, there is an angle of 95. You can change it on the fly or you can wait till the end. This one to this one, there is an angle of 90. So you can also wait till the end, and that's pretty much it. Now I can start with dimensions. So we can put the dimension in here. This is actually a 16 radius. So that's a dimension. So you can see how things have started to turn in green from the different elements. Now I am wondering if well, in here the tangency has set it right, so it is forced to set it right. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit like this so that you can see it. What else do we have? We have, this is a radius of 14. Let's go ahead and put that radius of 14. All right, what else did we miss? So sometimes it creates something like this, and that is okay. So radius of 9 in here. And another radius of 9 in here. Alright, so obviously these are not enough to set up the dimension. So I am looking in here. This is what we have so far. We've placed all the dimensions that we have. We have now from this one, so the external ones. Now I'm trying to look into other useful dimensions that we can have. So this one, we have a dimension, so 12 to here, so all the way to here we have, you remove 12, so you have 106 minus 12, that's 94. So basically from this one to this line you have 94. So that is a useful dimension. We can select from here to here, and this dimension here we can actually double click and put this at 94. So this brings us a little bit to this point. Looking into the graph again, in here what is it that we can profit from? This 60 is to this one. It's not really useful for this stage. 76 is also not useful for the stage. 130, this is a good dimension from the bottom to the top. So from the bottom here, so from this bottom all the way to the top, we had a dimension of, okay, now you can see it's green, and the value was 130. So we're going to double click, put 130, and now we have the master profile of the part at hand. So basically, if we go back to the dimension, so now we have this master profile. So this is the master profile, and now we have it. Now we're gonna start creating the other features. So we have two circles. We have a circle whose diameter is 17 in here, another circle whose diameter is 22. That's fairly easy. We can create on the circle, put it here, and then select in here and put the other circle. You are getting used to me by now that I create this shape that looks almost like it, and then I put constraint. This is the healthy way to do design. So this one is 22 millimeters, and this one is a diameter of 17. So now that I have these elements, I can exit the workbench, and we can actually verify that we've done it right by extruding it, and the pad on the dimensions, we have the pad is equal to 15. So we can put 15 millimeters, and this is the first step in our part. There is a something called right click reframe on. This is something that I really like because this helps me to center around the part. So this is good at this stage. Now it would be useful to save in case you know, like something happens, so it would be useful to save. That's a good habit. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to create in this location two circles to create that shape. But the way that I'm going to do it, so there are several ways to do it, right? We can actually create a circle and extrude more materials in here. So we can come up to this face. So I'm gonna teach you a nice trick. Let's say I wanted to go to the face behind it and I don't want to rotate. You can put the mouse where you want to do and then press with the down arrows. So actually it can give you access to, like, let's say like the face behind it. So we can click here and we can create a sketch and locate a first circle and then do a pocket from that. That's a possibility. The other possibility that I would like, but perhaps it's too early to start it now, is to use Boolean operations with part bodies. So I'm gonna go with the traditional method for now, and I'm gonna go ahead and click and create a sketch. So it took it for me upside down. So you can also rotate using the compass. You know, this is something that you can rotate using the mouse. You can do whatever you want. This is the good thing about it. So this is like the dimension that we have. We have that the center of this circle is, so I'm trying to see where is the location of the center of the circle. And looking at the dimensions, I'm seeing only the bottom of the circle. So it is at 60. So bringing this here, I'm seeing that the dimension from the center, from this point, all the way to the bottom of the circle is 60, which means we have a diameter of 24, which means the center is 12 plus the 60, 72. So we're gonna go to 72, find that point. So basically we are at in this reference plane in here, and we are going to create a point, and that point is gonna be on this line in here, but distance from distance from it. So like it's gonna be 72 and on this one in here. So what we can do is there's several ways to do it. You can actually, as simple as knowing what is that dimension from here to here, you can locate the point, or the better way to do it is you can actually select something, and so we know it is 72 along this orientation, and you can project it and bring it to your sketch and transform that into a construction element. So now you know that from this point, all you have to do is go down 72. So let's say we're gonna select a point on this one here, and we're going to click dimension from this one all the way to this point, and then if we did the calculation right, we have 60 till the bottom, and then the diameter itself is of 24, so 12 plus 60, 72, and this should give us the right point. So now that I am done, we don't need to put this as construction element anymore. I can come and select the point that I have created, and of course create the diameter, which is equal to 24. I can exit the sketch and I can extrude this part. So it says extruding to the other side. So you can click on reverse direction, or you can click on the arrow in here. And the dimension of this extrusion is, according to the schematic, is 23 millimeters. So we're going to go ahead and click preview, click OK, and we have our part. All we still need is to create a pocket, a hollow area of 15 millimeters diameter. That's gonna be very easy. We're gonna click on the surface, click on the sketch. So you can actually do so many things. You can click here and project, bring the sketch to you so that you can actually use it as a element to create concentricity. And so we can click circle here, and so you can see in here how it highlighted that we're creating a concentric circle. And I'm gonna use the tab to come up with 15 millimeters, so which is 7.5, and I am going to remove the construction element. So closing this, clicking on the pocket element, and we will do it, instead of dimension, we will put it up to last. So all the way till the end, preview, and voila, we have our part. This is the part that we wanted to create. What would be useful, what would be good is to play around with the views, see a little bit different views that you have. Remember the right click, reframe on. That can be really useful. And this is the end of this demonstration. Thank you so much for tuning in.